Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about forthcoming releases, books new to the market coming January, maybe February, maybe even March of 2025. I'm going to do some of these rapid fire style in which I just am telling you that they're coming out. These authors that I don't read from have a new book, and I find it interesting that some people are constantly cranking out books and yet their name does not exist in the book world. So I have a bunch of those, which I'll try and get through rapidly and not linger on them. And then I will also just talk about books that I am interested in. This is very off the cuff. I have not looked very far into this list. I just know that these books are coming out in the early part of next year, and I thought I would make a good video. I'm always watching the book market as if it is a sports like event. It is the only sports team that I watch. I don't actually watch physical sports on television at all, and I'm just not that interested. So when new books come out, I get excited as if they are a sports team that I am watching. And as I'm going through, I'm just gonna inform you about what is coming out. So if you're new to my channel, then hi, I'm Shelly. I love books and reading, and I adore following the book market. If you are here for the ride, enjoying the journey, and want to subscribe, I would encourage you to do so. And without any further rambling on, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. James Patterson is coming out with two new books in January. The first one is The Texas Murders. The other one is Holmes is Missing. Patterson, along with Danielle Steel, who's coming out with a new book, Never Say Never, doesn't seem to have popularity on the internet as much as they do in, for example, the local library system. I know that when I worked at the library, at my local library here in town, that whenever Patterson came out with a new book, that there would basically instantaneously have 100 people on the waiting list for his new book. So the library spent a lot of money buying new books to fulfill demand. And yet here on the internet, Danielle Steel, James Patterson, they just don't really crop up, which I find fascinating. Also, Rebecca Yarros, she's coming out with a new steamy dragon fierce lovers type book. It's the third book in her dragon series, and it's called Orc's Storm. A couple of authors that I know to be thriller authors that I don't actually read, but I know, and what I know of them, I don't think I would actually enjoy their books. I might be making a very wide assumption, so take that with a lick of salt. But Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney is coming out, and also a Frida McFadden book. I just had it and then I lost it. Oh, The Crash by Frida McFadden. Grady Hendrix has a new book. I enjoy Grady Hendrix. He can write a romp of a book. They're funny, adventurous, and have some horror. I mean, technically he's a horror writer, but there is enough levity within his writing that makes the whole experience feel very campy and lighthearted, and I like that. I've read two of his books, My Best Friend's Exorcism and the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires or something like that. And so his new book is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Now, with Grady Hendrix, I'm just going to wait to see what people make of this new book, and if it is getting excellent glowing reviews, I might consider picking it up. But he's just one that I don't mind being patient on. Internet darling Ali Hazelwood is coming out with a new romance centered around swimming, and it's entitled Deep End. Sometimes I can't help but chuckle at romance titles. Also, Nobel Prize laureate Han Kang is coming out with a new book, and it's entitled We Do Not Part. Now, this is about a character who braves a snowstorm on Jeju Island to save an injured friend's pet. She unwillingly embarks on a journey that blurs reality and memory, uncovering a hidden chapter of Korean history and the enduring power of friendship amidst forgotten violence. This sounds almost like a time travel historical fiction blended with, a contemporary setting. This sounds interesting, and I know Hong Kong, because of the recent Nobel win is having a moment, though I've never quite been tempted to pick up one of her books. My jaw just about dropped on the floor when I saw that Zora Neale Hurston is coming out with a new book. I loved the book, Their Eyes Were Watching God, and this is called The Life of Harod the Great. Now, this is what it is. It is Hurston's unpublished novel that offers a reimagined portrayal of Harod the Great, not as the notorious villain of the New Testament. Oh, Herod, oh, King Herod. Oh my gosh, I just put that together. Herod the Great, like in the time of Jesus and the census. Okay, so he's not the villain of the New Testament, but a philosophical and visionary king. Interesting. Okay, now I'm kind of interested. I wonder who finished the novel. I wonder if they'll say that. So it's edited by someone I'm not familiar with. It's edited and has commentary from Deborah G. Plant, who is an independent scholar of African American studies. I truly did a full turnaround. I went from sort of like, oh my goodness, money grab. Zora Neale Hurston obviously passed a while ago, so why are you trying to publish a new novel from her? It's clearly like only for money. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's about Herod, King Herod. This is amazing. I'm so excited. So wow, total turnaround. And I guess Zora Neale Hurston has done biblical retellings. I think she has one about Moses. I haven't read it, but it is a category of books I am keenly interested in, even if I haven't read very many of those types of books. TJ Klune has a new novel entitled The Bones Beneath My Skin, coming out in February of 2025. It's a standalone novel about an extraordinary young girl and her two unlikely protectors who are on the run from cultists and the government in this supernatural road trip thriller. I haven't read Klune. I know so many people love Klune, though I've heard some commentary about him, like Klune's writing being quite message heavy, which is a real sticking point for me. And so I've just sort of fluffed off his work, for good or for ill. For me, I think it's for the betterment of my reading life, although I'm sure some of you are going to tell me otherwise. We're just going to talk about a cover trend that I kind of despise, and it is the outline of a woman. You get her, it's a contrasting outline of the profile of a woman. She's either, looking straight ahead or looking up, and then there's words across her face. And the example here is clever little thing. For whatever reason, when I see this, I just feel like it's saying I'm a thought-provoking female protagonist historical fiction book that's going to have a not quite so subtle message in it. I know I'm totally like stereotyping this type of cover, but I feel like that's what it's trying to sell. And I don't like it. I wish there was something else. I don't like this kind of cover, and I wish that we could move on from it. It's one of those things that just gets me. Since I berated the cover, let's actually find out what this book is about. So it's Clever Little Thing by Helena Eklund. I don't know this author. After her daughter Stella begins mimicking the personality of her deceased babysitter, Blanca, pregnant Charlotte becomes convinced that Blanca has possessed her child. Okay, yeah, sounds scarier than usually what these books are offering. But so I'm wrong about what it's selling, but I'm just telling you at a glance, that's what always comes to mind. I knew about this book from a video Leena Norms actually did. I love Leena Norms' channel. And she actually interviewed Kate Moss, who's coming out with a new book called The Map of Bones. It's an epic and heartbreaking telling of a courageous woman battling to survive in a hostile land. Oh, it is the fourth book in a series, so I'm not going to be reading it, but I have always thought that I would get along with Kate Moss. Literary superstar Ali Smith comes out with a new book, Gliff. It's coming out in February of 2025, and this is the premise. Once upon a time, not very far from now, two children come home to find a line of wet red paint encircling the outside of their house. What does it mean? It says Gliff is a novel about how we make meaning and how we are made meaningless. Now, this sounds fascinating. I read one Ali Smith book, the first book in her seasonal quartet. I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. I thought her wordplay was clever. Maybe I didn't I don't know, something about it fell flat for me. And I own Hotel World, which I haven't picked up, by Smith as well. But this sounds fascinating. The premise, the idea. I'm curious about this novel. Shannon McGuire, I read her first Wayward Children series, didn't get along with it, but the 10th book of that series is coming out. Samantha Shannon, who has been putting out those behemoth of a book like Day of Fallen Night, The Priory of the Orange Tree, she's coming out, but she's continuing an older series, and it's called The Dark Mirror, and it's book 5 in the Bone season. One thing I love about novelists is their filters are so great. I love seeing which books are starred reviews by reviewing powerhouses like Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, Library Journal. And so now I'm going to zoom in on a couple of historical fiction releases that are coming out early next year that are highly rated, I guess, by publishing houses. I'm such a review girly. I read reviews and I get so much enjoyment out of them. Okay, so the first book that has mixed reviews is Isola, and it's by Allegra Goodman. Now, this is inspired by a real 16th century heroine, an orphaned and betrayed young woman, Marguerite, who is marooned on a desolate island with her lover, where she must confront nature's harshness and her own strength in a desperate fight for survival. Okay, that sounds great. Now, Publishers Weekly says that it is an engrossing but overlong account of this real woman who just lived in solitary exile on an island off the coast of New France. Oh my gracious. I'm overexcited. When I stumble over my words, I'm really overexcited over here. Now, Kirkus gave it a star review. Whoever read this and reviewed it gave it a star review, which is like their stamp of approval. And so it's the last sentence says that Goodman writes with fluid beauty, deep empathy, and an emotional undertow that pulls you in and holds you from the first page to the last. Goodman's sweeping page turner is at once historical and modern, intimate and epic, personal and powerful. Okay, this kind of sounds amazing. I'm liking the cover. I like the teal green contrasted with like the sea green and this woman standing on a cliff. That is a cover, y'all. It's saying I'm historical fiction because of the woman and her long dress looking out over the ocean. But it also says that I'm historical fiction, but I'm also literary. That's what I was going to say. I'm also literary with the title, the letters just coming straight down the page. And I don't know. And it's just like this one word title. Okay, I am clearly overexcited about this. I love the idea of it being lyrical and thoughtful, and there's just something about this that's getting to me. Okay, I'm gonna stop. You need to move on, girl. Move on. Next up, The Queen of Fives. It's set in 1898. Queen LeBlanc, London's most talented con woman, has just 5 days to trap a highly eligible duke into marriage and lift the fortune from his richest family. This received a star review from Publishers Weekly. It says that the plotting will have readers on the edge of their seats as one twist after another sets the stage for a series of jaw-dropping revelations. This literary confection is a delectable treat. Okay, that sounds like a fun read. Fast-paced, fun. Sometimes, another thing that I like about Novelist is that you can see, it just gives you all the information. And part of it is that you can see how long the book is with just a click of the finger. So this is 320 pages. So hopefully it would be a very fast-paced read. A book that dramatizes the creation of Barbie, and it's entitled Let's Call Her Barbie by Renee Rosen. I think that this is a great time to come out with a Barbie book. We just had the Barbie movie. I think people are still enjoying the Barbiness of it all. I just think that the movie was so big that people who were fans of the movie might be interested in a book about Barbie, especially if it's a historical fiction, dramatized, well-written, and dramatic version of how Barbie was created. I think that that would really appeal to a lot of people. Another Barbie book. Can we call two Barbie books a trend? I think we can. I think we can. So this is actually a translated work. The book is entitled Underground Barbie, and it's by Masa Kolanovic, and it is translated by Ena Slamovic. Now, this is about the Croatian War of Independence, and ultimately we're looking at Barbie, like through the eyes of Barbie in these harrowing situations, what Barbie gives to children who are growing up in a war zone. It says that it is charming, funny, and harrowing. It will appeal to readers of many ages. So I'm wondering if high schoolers could possibly read this and get something out of it, especially to those who enjoy grim humor and a myriad of adventures with their own Barbies. So who remember a myriad of adventures with their own Barbies. I had Barbie growing up. This sounds absolutely fascinating. Ooh, oh my gosh, someone compared it to Twin Peaks. I watched Twin Peaks, the television show, the original, and it gave me nightmares for years. Great show, but also too intense for the Shelley heart. So it says that Kolonovic's pop culture references doesn't always fit seamlessly into the narrative. A description of Twin Peaks dissolves into a mere summary, but by and large, the juxtaposition of child's play and real-world violence is chilling. This is worth a look. So a couple of School Library Journal gave it a starred review, and Publishers Weekly just simply reviewed it, but it still sounds it sounds fascinating, y'all. Not kind of fascinating, and I'm loving the cover. Another translated book, and it's called The Calamity of Noble Houses. This is written by Amira Ghenim, and it is translated by Melina Fazia and Karen McNeil. The more I dig about this book, the more interesting it is. So Ghenim is a North African writer, specifically from Tunisia, and this book was translated from Arabic into English. First work that she's ever put out, which I find fascinating, and it seems like she's really going for it. So it's set against the backdrop of a country in turmoil, the country is in search of its own identity, and the lives and destinies of the members of two upper-class families start to intertwine. So we have one family that is very rigidly conservative and quite patriarchal, and then the other family is open-minded and progressive. And so on one terrible night in December 1935, the destiny of both families changed forever when a young wife is accused of having a clandestine affair with someone who is known for his union activism and the support of women's rights. So this affair is what breaks everything open, and everything falls apart from there. This, I'm not gonna lie, sounds amazing. I'm gonna leave it there for now. I could probably make a video like this once a week, once a month. I love seeing what's new to the market and just what's out there. So thank you for joining me on this journey and in this video. I just really appreciate your time and attention. Let me know what interested you the most. Did I forget about something? Let me know in the comments down below, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye!